This is the Nineveh tomato. Now I'm really excited to try this tomato because the reviews on the Baker Creek website suggested it is an extremely acidic tomato, very sour more than sweet, which I think I prefer, but I don't actually know for sure. There's a little bit of anxiety, you might say, about trying it because one of the reviews actually said it is so acidic that it actually left sores in their mouth. So that would probably be too much. So it might be one of those things that you immediately spit out upon trying. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. This is pretty much ripe. It might still have a little ways it could go because it's got a little bit of yellow on the top. But I think for the fact of getting something early and eating it, I'm going to go right ahead and do that. And I'm going to try it right here in the garden, and then I'll add on to this video a cross-section view of one of these tomatoes at a later point. So here is the Nineveh tomato. Well, as you can see from my hand, it is very juicy. Now, I've been watering, probably even over-watering a little bit, so that might be part of why it's juicy. It might be a juicier breed of tomato. I don't actually know. I would say the flavor was not anything surprising. It does have a good acid flavor, but I actually really do like it. I definitely don't think I'd get sores in my mouth unless maybe I was just eating these nonstop. But let's look at what we can from the bite here. It has pretty good number of seeds, but they aren't overwhelming. The wall is pretty thick. Obviously a very juicy tomato. As I said, it's delicious. I'm very happy I'm growing it. Might even be one of those ones I'd add to a list to always have. Then again, it's pretty early in the season, and any tomato that you're eating out of your garden right as you're getting tomatoes is going to taste outstanding. So, but I definitely wouldn't say this is something to be afraid of. The Nineveh tomato, it produced early. It was one of my earliest producing. The only other tomato, let me walk back over to my tomatoes. The only other tomato that is really ripe right now is this orange grape tomato, which is right down here. So those are the only ones that are ripe. You'll see right here, I do have, I think that's my dark copia heart, although there's nothing really dark looking about that. But anyhow, the dark copia heart that is starting to ripen there. So I will have some other ripe ones soon, but for right now, the Nineveh seems to win out on the non-grape or cherry tomatoes, and it was a pretty good flavor. So I do recommend the Nineveh. There you go, the Nineveh tomato. You just watched about the Nineveh tomato, and here I have a couple that I've brought inside. It's a few days later. This one obviously has cracked out some, but I thought we'd still bring it because it's a nice big, I would call this plum size, whereas the other ones, some of them from the Nineveh plant as well, are more of a golf ball size. So I just wanted to show those two sizes, and then we can do cross sections as well to kind of look at what the plant's like, or the tomato is like. Look at all that juiciness. And in a lot of ways, it's a picture perfect inside to that. So let's hold it up here for a little bit of a better view. And yeah, that's the Nineveh tomato, which again is an extremely acidic tomato. I think it is delicious. And just kind of a fun anecdote on that. In that earlier section you just watched where I took a bite of it out in the garden, I actually, after I was done filming and I was moving on to other things, found that I had a seed on my forehead, and that is because they are so juicy and explosive when you bite into them. So this is the Nineveh tomato. That's a cross section. I'll go ahead and cut the smaller one as well, just so we can go ahead and see what that shows us. And so that's what it looks like when it's a little bit smaller. It has, less of this developed center pith, I guess you might call that, in the smaller one. But they're both from the Nineveh tomato plant, even though they're very different sizes. I think it's a very good tomato. I don't think I'm going to get any sores on my tongue, and that's generally that. So stay tuned. We're going to continue to update you on the other tomatoes that we're growing this year. You can check out the video where we discuss which varieties. They're all varieties that people watching this channel voted to see in the garden. And there are a lot of very pretty different types of tomatoes, so I'm excited to try them all, and I hope you'll join me to try them. And we'll continue to update on other things. I know it has been a little bit of time since our last video. I assure you we will not go nearly as long before our next. So thank you for watching, and do please subscribe to the channel.